Hi everyone, it's Stacey. Thank you for coming on this yoga leap with me. Welcome back if you've been practicing with me. Welcome to anyone new if you're finding the video for the first time. As you can see, I don't have my chair again this week rather. If you do practice in a chair, by all means, go ahead, grab your chair, grab any other props that you might want to practice with, such as straps or blocks or bolsters or blankets. I'll probably only maybe use a block, but maybe not. I don't ever know what people have access to in their home studio, so I don't like to use too many props, but if you have them, go ahead, grab them. Today, just another nice, gentle, stretchy one. It's cold here where I am. It's wintry, it's snowy, and we're really moving into that. So I felt like just moving a bit slowly, moving the body, stretching, try to stretch our upper body a little bit as well. So we're just going to take it nice and slow and stretchy. So if you're in the chair, it'll be nice and simple. You can follow along. I'm going to stay mostly on my mat. And I'll try and cue some options for the chair. So with that, let's get started. I'll go meet you on the mat and we're going to start seated. So I'm going to make my way down to the mat here, and I'm going to find a nice comfortable seated position, finding sit bones. So any cross-legged position is fine. You can have a nice wide, loose, easy cross leg. If you're feeling ready, maybe it's the end of the day and you're ready to come into a lotus or half lotus, by all means find that. If you're in your chair, just plant your feet comfortably on the ground or the blocks. Settle in. We'll find, I'm not going to do lotus. We'll find a nice tall spine. We can take a few breaths, maybe just inhale and exhale the shoulders down and back. Maybe do that again. We just want to spend a few minutes at the beginning of our practice just sort of taking the time to connect to our breath and our bodies, and even connecting to the space around us so that we feel really present and grounded for the practice. We want to try and let go of all the "oh, I wish I hads" and the "what ifs" of tomorrow, and just spend the next 30 or so minutes grounding here on your mat for yourself. So if we haven't already done so, maybe roll the shoulders in the opposite direction with your breath. And if it's comfortable, you can keep your eyes open or close them. And then once you've rolled the shoulders a couple of times, shaken everything out, hands have found a comfortable place to rest on your lap, palms turned down or turned up, we can start to turn our attention inward and focus on the breath. And if at all possible, I know it's really difficult the minute I say this, try not to change the natural flow of the breath. Just notice the natural rhythm. So notice how fast or slow you're breathing. Notice how deep or shallow the breath might be. And remember, there's not any right or wrong answer. We're just tuning in and connecting and paying attention. Maybe even notice where you are feeling the breath in your body. Is it down in the belly? Maybe it's a little higher up in the chest. Maybe it's in and out through your nose. You're really feeling the air flow there. Notice as you inhale and exhale, are there any areas that you feel you're getting stuck or your breath is sticking or staggering? You sort of have to help it get over a little hump. Notice if there's any stickiness like that in the breath. Maybe adjust posture to see if we can lengthen and open and try and smooth out those areas of stickiness. And we can start to deepen the breath to maybe help smooth it out as well. Take a few more rounds of breath here. And if setting an intention is part of your practice, so maybe a dedication to yourself or someone else, or an intention of anything, being present, being grounded, being mindful, being high energy or low energy, whatever you think you might need for this practice, go ahead and just make a note of that mentally. Repeat it to yourself a couple of times. Let it wash over you. Let's check in with that posture one more time. Find length through the spine. Maybe roll the shoulders down and back one more time. And then maybe blinking the eyes open if they aren't already, and we'll get started here with some movement. Let's inhale, sweep the arms up overhead. And exhale, bring them back down, moving them nice and slow as if you're sort of pulling the arms through some molasses or water so you can feel a little bit of resistance. That just helps wake up and tune into sort of the muscles that are involved in this. You might feel it in the shoulders. You'll feel the core kick in as well to help keep the spine nice and long. So just noticing any sensations in the body. Let's add a twist here. Inhale. We'll twist over to the left so the right arm sweeps across the body. Maybe it finds the outside of the opposite leg. And then the left hand comes behind just to help anchor our sit bones even more as we twist through belly, chest, and maybe even looking over the shoulder. Let's stay for a couple rounds of breath here. Stay nice and grounded through the opposite side. Inhale here and find length, and then exhale, maybe you find a bit more depth. Maybe the hands help guide you, but without yanking yourself into a twist as we are still warming up. Well, you never want to yank yourself into a twist. Let's stay for another breath. Let's inhale, and we'll untwist as we come around to the front. Sweep the arms up here, and then twist over to the other side. So stay rooted down through the sit bones. Left arm sweeps across, right arm plants behind to help us find lift and length, and maybe guide our twist deeper as we stay for 2 rounds of breath here. Inhale to find length. Exhale, maybe the twist gets deeper, maybe not. Listening to our bodies here. Inhale. And exhale. On the next inhale, let's come around to the front. And then we'll just move with our breath a little bit. Exhale into the twist. Inhale through center. Exhale. And inhale. We'll do one more on each side here. Inhale to reach up. This time, let's let the left hand drop down, find the mat, and the right arm's reaching up and over as we find a side bend. So we're moving the spine in a lot of directions as we warm up the body, wanting to make sure we're still grounding through this opposite side, finding length down the side body here. So think about reaching up and over, and staying for a breath. The gaze falls wherever the neck is comfortable. It might be straight out in front, it might be down at the floor or your hand. Exhale here, and then on the next inhale, come up through center, sweep the arms up, and then we'll let the right hand drop down, and the left arm will reach up and over, opening through left side body this time. Again, the gaze falls wherever the neck is comfortable, and we're going to stay for 2 breaths. On the inhale, reaching up, and just like before, we're going to move with our breath a little bit. So we'll exhale to a side bend, inhale, and exhale. We'll go one more on each side here. Exhaling to find length. Inhaling through center. Last one. Inhale here. Let's reach. Let's stay for a couple breaths, just reaching up, finding length all the way through the fingertips, root down through the sit bones. Inhale here. Let's exhale, open up. Find an opening through the front side body here. Find those cactus arms. Imagine tilting the elbows up towards the ceiling, opening up. Good. Let's inhale, reach up. Do that again. Exhale to open. Inhale. Exhale. Good, let's inhale here. Let's clasp the palms. So we're going to clasp the fingers, and we're going to turn the palms up towards the ceiling. So we're going to inhale here. You can find a bit of movement any way that feels okay. Let's inhale, reach. As we exhale, now we're going to turn the palms towards the face and pull the hands away from the body as we round through the spine. We can even tilt chin to chest, round through the spine. Exhale. Inhale, let's flip those palms up towards the ceiling again. You can find a little bit of movement, reaching and inhaling. And then exhale, let's turn the palms towards the face and pull the hands away from the face as we round through the spine, splay the shoulder blades. And inhale. And exhale. And one more time, let's inhale here. Exhale. Let's inhale, reach the hands up. We can separate the palms. Inhale, inhale, reach, reach, reach. Exhale, we're gonna sweep the hands behind us. Let's clasp the fingers. See if we can cross the opposite finger in front from what we just did when we were reaching up. And it'll feel a little wonky. Put the opposite or wrong thumb in front. And then see if we can reach the knuckles down towards the mat or towards the back of the room. If you're in a chair and you don't have room for this, think about scooching forward on the chair, maybe find a bit of room. And if you still don't have room and you're in the chair, just reach the hands back and pretend you're holding on to a volleyball. So there's a bit of space between the hands, but we're still opening up through and getting a chest stretch. So lots of options. Keep opening and reaching. Take another breath here. Release the fingers. We're going to sweep the arms up. Exhale the hands behind again. And then we're going to clasp the hands. And we're going to see if we can bring the palms over towards the left side body. So if you can't reach the, if you're not clasping, that's okay. We're just going to tuck one hand behind our back and just find a little bit more of a stretch through the shoulder here. But if you can clasp the hands and guide the hands towards the hip, the left hip, you can find a little bit of a deeper stretch here. Stay for a couple of breaths. Release, sweep the arms up, inhale. And last time, let's exhale, clasp the hands, swap the clasp again, put the wrong hand in front, the wrong finger rather, and then pull the palms and the hands over towards the right side. See if you can find that right hip bone, opening up the shoulder. Staying for another breath, inhale. Exhale, let's release the hands, sweep them up one last time, reach, 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 even sort of reaching up towards the ceiling with a bit of movement like this. And then exhale the hands down. Let's find the knees. So even if you're seated in the chair, finding the lap or the knees. And if you want to, at this point, lean back and change the cross of the legs, go ahead and do that. If you're comfortable where you are, no problem, stay just as you are. We're just going to take the opportunity to do a few hip circles here, inhaling and exhaling as we bring a bit of movement to the hips. Just waking up all the parts of the body, warming up. So inhale to reach forward, exhale, maybe round through the spine. Notice the weight shift from side to side. Use the knees as anchors to help either hold on so you can splay, or maybe even pull forward to pull the heart center through a bit more. Let's do a couple more in this direction. And then let's switch directions. You can change the cross of the legs here if you want to or haven't already. No need, as long as you're comfortable. Now just notice the weight shift from side to side as we move in this direction. Notice if there's anything different about moving in this direction. Does it feel different, better, worse? There's no right or wrong answer. We're just trying to stay in tune with just the sensations we're feeling in the body. All right, a couple more here. Good. Last one, let's take a big inhale through center and release. Good. Let's actually all uncross our legs here if they're all still crossed. Lean back a bit. We can just windshield wiper the legs a little bit. This will help get into the hips as well. So just moving the legs back and forth a little bit. If you're in the chair, you can do this as well. Good, they'll come through center, and then we're gonna let the legs fall to one side, and we'll just make our way into our tabletop. So we'll go through a bit of cat-cow here. You can continue with seated cat-cow if you're in the chair. If you're on the floor, stack the wrists under the shoulders, stack the knees under the hips. Inhale to drop the belly. Now we're gonna get a nice big stretch through the front side body here, including the core. And then exhale to round through the spine, press it away. We've been doing a lot of inhaling and exhaling, so if you're feeling ready already to add movement, you can certainly move back and forth as you inhale and exhale. You can do full barrel rolls where the hips and the shoulders are getting involved a little bit. And again, you can add forward and backwards movement. So anything really that just feels good, moving through cat-cow. And a few movements to warm us up. All right, do a couple more wherever you are. And then let's sit back in child's pose. So if you're in the chair, folding forward over top of the lap is child's pose. If you're on the floor, let's make some space, open up the legs nice and wide. Reach the arms forward, lower the forehead down. Staying here for a breath. Then we're going to lift the forehead. Whether you're in the chair or on the floor, we're going to walk ourselves over to one side. Walking over to the left, we'll put the right hand on top and lower down. Keep the hips heavy. Feel a big side stretch. Breathe deep into the belly. Lift the forehead, walk through center, and then all the way over to the other side to the right. We'll put left hand on top and lower down. Lift the forehead, come back through center here. And let's come back up to our tabletop. And we're going to start to stretch out the backside of the shoulders here. So we'll create a little bit of movement. The knees can stay wide, toes can touch, or they can be parallel, however you feel most stable. And we're going to put our weight into the right hand and inhale to sweep the left hand up and open. Now, if you're in the chair, just make it, just come into a nice wide stance. You can rest your elbow on one leg and then find this nice opening as well. And then when we come into our shoulder stretch, those of us in the chair can just draw our arms across the body. So we're trying to stretch out this back side of the shoulder when we get there. So finding your position on the floor or in the chair. We've swept our arm up, taking a big inhale here. Let's exhale, thread the needle. We're not going to stay. We're exhaling here. We're moving with our breath at first. Inhale to reach up again. Exhale, twist, thread the needle. So thread that left hand under the right, lower down. We're not staying. We're taking another breath here. As we exhale this time, we're going to come all the way down. So in the chair, draw that arm across the body on the mat, lower down. Let the shoulder come to the mat and the side of the head or the forehead. And you'll be in this little pretzel, feeling hopefully a bit of stretch and sensation down the left arm, the outside of the left shoulder and arm. Staying here for 3, 2, and 1. So press into that right hand. Let's come on up, take a big inhale, sweep the arm up again, and exhale to lower. Now we're going to go to the other side. Make any adjustments to your tabletop or your seat. Put the weight into the left hand here. Inhale, sweep right arm up. Open up. Inhale, feel a nice big stretch. Exhale, we're going to thread the needle. So right arm comes under left and we lower down. We're not going to stay. We're going to inhale, reach up. Exhale, lower. Inhale, reach up. This time when we lower, we'll stay down. So we'll thread that needle through. We'll lower the shoulder down and the side of the face or forehead, whatever feels best for your neck. Find support through the left hand and stay for 3, for 2, and 1. Good. Press into your support hand here. Take a big inhale, sweep up. Exhale, lower down. Okay, so the toes are together here. Option to come into child's pose for a moment. And we're going to move through a little bit of movement through child's pose as well. So I'm going to parallel the feet, stack my shoulders here again. And if you're in child's pose, come on back up to our tabletop. We're going to flow through a little mini vinyasa a little bit. So from our tabletop, first things, we want to send the hips back. So we're coming into a bit of a child's pose again, maybe walking the hands forward a little bit. On our inhale, though, we're going to pull ourselves back to tabletop, do a little push up, come back up, and send the hips back. So you may need to adjust the hand spacing a little bit. We're not going to be in a perfect child's pose. We probably won't be in a perfect tabletop, but we want to try and find the right distance for our hands and our glutes. So when we come into a tabletop, we can do a little push up and then send the hips back. Now, if you're in the chair, option to do some breath work in the chair. So we can take an inhale here. Whoops, I'm hitting my plant. If you're in the chair, inhaling, you can do an exhale into a swan dive. So fold forward, come on up, halfway, exhale again, and then inhale all the way back up. Hands through heart center. So just find a bit of a flow, a breath flow. If you are in the chair, the rest of us on the mat here, we're going to continue with our little child's pose flow into our tabletop, into our little push-up, and back to our child's pose. So move with your breath. You'll come to inhale, nice and slow. There's no rush. In fact, the faster you do this, the more push-ups you'll end up doing. So keep that in mind. Inhale through tabletop. This time, as we are doing our push-up, think about sending the shoulders over top of the fingers a little bit further, bending the elbows straight back and coming back up. So it's a little bit more tricep work, and it mimics a little bit more of the chaturanga movement. So just come down as far as you can and then push yourself back up. Good, let's just do 2 more. It's working up a lot of heat here. Send the hips back. Last round. Send the hips back. And I didn't really lie, but this time come forward and make yourself move yourself all the way down to the mat so that you're on your stomach here. You can bring the hands underneath forehead, rest the forehead down. If you're in the chair, fold forward. Find that forward fold. Relax for a moment. If we're on the mat, let's lift the forehead. Let's walk the hands out a little bit further than mat distance. And we're going to just press the tops of the feet into our mat as well. You're still lowered down. On the inhale, we're going to start to peel the heart space and forehead off the mat. Inhale here. Exhale, peel it, roll it back down. If you're in the chair, find your seated cat-cow. Inhale, so the fingertips are giving some support. Exhale, try and find movement and fluidity through the spine. Start lifting at the base. Head comes up last, and then roll down. Belly, chest, forehead. Good. So a couple more here. Exhale to lower. Inhale. Exhale. Okay, let's add on a twist. A dip. If you're in the chair, step your feet wide, hands on knees, and you'll be able to dip your shoulders just like us on the floor. So we're going to take a big inhale here. This time as we exhale, we're going to twist and dip our shoulder into center. And then inhale. Dip the next shoulder. So in the chair, you can find this movement by stepping the feet wide, hands on knees, dipping the shoulder. Try and find that ease of movement through the spine. Press the tops of the feet into the mat. We're going to do a couple more on each side. All right, one more each side. Here we go. Squeeze the bum, press the feet into the mat. Exhale, this time on the inhale, come up through center, all the way down. We can bring the hands under the forehead again. Relax. Take a few breaths here. When we're ready, let's lift the forehead. We'll come into a bit of a quad stretch. So we're going to bring our right hand, make it parallel to the short edge of the front of the mat here. And then we're going to lift that left foot up and see if we can reach back with our left hand and grab onto the ankle. And we're going to square the heart space. We're going to square the shoulders back off to the front of the mat. And depending on where you're holding on, you might already feel a stretch. If you can't reach, that's okay. It'll just be a little bit more strength work, trying to connect the hand and ankle, and that's perfectly fine. If you can reach and you can let the muscles relax a little bit, you might just find a stretch. Option to stay with a stretch, option to find some strength work even when the hand is connected by kicking the foot up to the ceiling and pressing into that front arm to help find a bit of a back bend and a little bit of glute activation here. But otherwise, staying nice and relaxed, finding a stretch. I'm sticking with the stretch option. Find your choice here for 3. Breathing deep. For 2. And 1. If you've got the foot lifted, lower it down, release the ankle. Don't let it slingshot. Good. Option to lower down. Wiggle the hips a little bit. Shake it out. And then we'll reset for the next side. So this time the left arm comes in front, parallel to the short edge of the mat, and we'll kick up the right foot, reach for right ankle, square the shoulders off, find the stretch, or kick the foot up to the ceiling for a little bit of activation. And we'll stay for 3, for 2, and 1. Release the foot. Don't let it slingshot. Good. Lower the forehead down one more time. Rock the hips back and forth. Shake it out. And then we'll lift the forehead. We're going to bring our hands under our shoulders. We're going to push ourselves back up through tabletop. Just find child's pose for a minute here to counter the stretches. And then when we're ready, we'll come up. We'll roll onto our back. So making our way down to our back any way that feels safe and comfortable. If you're in the chair, stay where you are. Find a nice tall position to sit in. And if you're in the chair, option here is to draw one leg up towards the chest. You could even curl the forehead toward the knee. You could do this on the mat as well, or if you're on the mat, maybe drawing both knees in towards the chest, and you can rock side to side here. So any option, just finding a little bit of a moment of transition from our front side bodies onto our back side bodies. Good. Let's let the feet find the floor. We're going to open up into a bridge here. We'll put the feet parallel, toes pointing forward. Walk them close to your glutes here. Hands can come down by your side. And we're going to press into hands and feet. Squeeze the bum. Lift the hips up. Inhale as we lift. Exhale to lower. We're going to do a few rounds of a flowing bridge here. Inhale to lift. Exhale, round down. So it's kind of the opposite sort of peeling that we were doing on our stomach. So peel the tailbone off the ground, then the low back, then the mid back comes off, and then peel it back down onto the mat. Upper back, lower back, and tailbone. Good, let's do a couple more here. Pressing into hands and feet, flowing with breath. When we get down to the mat here, let's lower the tailbone down. Good. Okay, let's do a little bit of stretching. So we're going to take our our left leg, point the heel up towards the ceiling. And just for a minute here, see how it feels to have a nice straight leg reaching up towards the ceiling. The right leg can stay bent, or you can stretch it out along the mat if that feels good. That'll add a little hip flexor stretch in the right hip flexor. Maybe point and flex the toes or circle the ankles here. Good. Let's reach the heel back up towards the ceiling and then cross it over our right knee. So if you're in the chair, of course, just cross your ankle over your knee. You might already feel a stretch. You can stay where you are or find that threading of the needle, figure 4, drawing the knees in towards the body, feeling a nice stretch down the outer left hip. If you're in the chair, fold forward. So keep the foot planted, the right foot, and just fold forward to increase the stretch if you're seated in the chair. If you're on the ground, finding the stretch here. You can stay in stillness. You can rock side to side. We're going to stay for 3 rounds of breath. Keep flexing the left foot for 2 more rounds. One more round. And start to release the right foot down to the mat. Good. We're going to uncross the left leg. And we're going to draw the left knee in towards our body here. Maybe we can reach behind the knee. Maybe we can reach our calf or ankle. Maybe we can even reach our foot and draw the knee down towards the side of the body for a half happy baby. If you're feeling ready, you could, if you're feeling stretchy and warm enough, option to open the leg up to the side. Create a bit more of an inner thigh stretch. The right leg is counterbalancing, so let the leg splay open if need be so that you're not rolling too far onto the side. Now, if you're in the chair, of course, maybe going back to drawing knees in towards chest or stepping the legs wide and taking a wide leg forward fold, creating that nice stretch for the inner thighs. Good. We're going to stay with a straight leg or our happy baby for 3, for 2, and 1. Good. Let's just see if we can draw the knees in a little bit, but we'll bring our right hand towards the outside of the left leg. Option to connect the ankle to the knee, option to cross the legs, and we're going to come into a little twist here on the floor. So just let the legs fall over nice and easy. Shoulders can try and stay connected to the ground. Left arm reaches either along the floor or comes into cactus. And we'll just create a little twist here. Any twist that feels comfortable for you. If you're in the chair, coming back to the twist that we did at the beginning of class, rooting down through the sit bones and twisting to one side. We'll draw the legs back up through center, uncross. Option to step the feet wide, windshield wiper again, just before we go to the other side. We'll step the feet back in. We'll lift that right leg up and get a feel for a nice straight leg stretch on the right side, pointing and flexing the right foot, or ankle circles. Of course, if you're in the chair, just kick the foot straight out. You'll feel some work happening in the quads and the hip flexors and core to make that happen if you're in the chair. See how the stretch feels.
All right, let's flex that heel up towards the ceiling and then find our figure four. So crossing the ankle over opposite knee, let the knee splay open, and then finding whatever depth of stretch you're looking for on this side. And know that it might be different on this side. Maybe this side you can go deeper, maybe you can't, and that's okay. So maybe you find yourself a little more tight on this side or a bit more flexible. There's no right or wrong, just noticing. Staying in our stretch here for 2 more breaths, flexing that right foot this time, keeping it active. 1 more round. And then we'll release that foot down to the ground. Let's release the ankle cross, but draw the knee down towards the side body, reaching either behind the calf, the ankle, or maybe for the foot, and finding our half happy baby on this side. And remember, if you're feeling like you can open up the leg to the side and get that, like plants in the way, and get that inner thigh stretch, by all means, go ahead and find that. The left leg can counterbalance on this side, making sure we're not rolling over to one side. Let's stay here for 3, for 2, and 1. Let's draw that knee back in. Switch hands, so the left hand is going to come to the outside of the right leg, and we're going to help draw the knees over towards the left, opening up the right arm along the mat. Finding our twist on the opposite side. And then we'll come back through center, draw the knees back through center. Good. Option here to curl into a little ball, or a nice option to massage the low back is to have both feet up towards the ceiling and just drawing some circles or figure 8s on the ceiling. You can also be in a ball and rock side to side. I just find that by lifting the legs, it just creates a little bit of a different pressure point for where the massage is kind of happening in the back, kind of in the glute, the side glutes and the back. So I love this option. Otherwise, rocking back and forth is excellent, whatever feels best. Or maybe you want to come into a full happy baby. Take a few minutes here to just explore what movements your body still needs. It could be stillness, it could be movement. I'm coming back to this one here. And then in a couple more breaths, we're going to make our way to our final resting position. So something nice and comfortable. Maybe the feet are going to stay up the wall if you have something to rest the feet on. Maybe the knees stay bent, but they walk wide and knock in towards each other. Or maybe you stretch out long along your mat, sending the heels out towards the corners and hands down by our sides with the palms turned up, or if you're seated in your chair, sitting up nice and comfortably with palms resting in your lap wherever they feel comfortable. We'll all just start to scan our bodies again. Notice the breath. Notice if it's getting stuck, and remember there's no right or wrong. Bringing awareness to any sensations in our bodies. Shavasana is the time for our physical and energetic bodies to absorb all that good work we just did and turn it into something magical. It's a time for integration and rest. And know that rest is different from sleep, and that we need both every day. And we should never pass up an opportunity to just rest and do nothing.
And of course, the beauty of practicing through the video lens is that if your body wants or needs to stay in Shavasana for a little bit longer, by all means, just press pause or let the video play out. If you're ready to bring movement back to your body and wake your body up and get on with your day or evening, start to wiggle fingers and toes, circle the wrists and ankles. You could choose to stretch long along your mat or curl into a little ball one more time, just before making your way to a comfortable seated position if you're not already there. And from here, we'll just all take a big breath together. Inhale, sweep the arms up. Exhale, draw all that good breath in towards heart center. Hands can rest in prayer if you're comfortable, or on the heart, or back down in your lap, wherever you feel most comfortable. I want to thank you for allowing me into your personal private yoga practice spaces and for allowing me to guide you through this hopefully lovely, gentle, stretchy flow tonight. And until we have a chance to do this again next week, take care. Thanks, everybody. I hope that no matter where you are and no matter what time of day it is, a gentle stretch was exactly what you needed. Have a great week. See you next week. Bye.